What's going on? Jeremy here from The Quartering. I hope you're doing well. Today is chock full of news. I talked about the new PlayStation 5 console earlier this morning. I'm going to talk about social justice warriors losing their mind over the new Star Wars game now, and I've got some other information around some firings at EA and BioWare for 4 o'clock. I hope you're enjoying all the coverage this week. If you do, please always remember that a thumbs up on the video is super helpful. So it would seem some fans are upset. With the protagonist in Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order being a white guy. That's right, according to Bounding into Comics. And then I've got an article from PC Games, a PC gamer, that's going to outline some low blow shots. And it's such an interesting phenomena where if you replaced white guy with almost any other two words that describes human beings, it would be outrageous. You would be fired. You would be chased out of town. You would just be unpersoned. But for whatever reason, on Saturday, Electronic Arts released their first trailer, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, revealing protagonist series of Cal Kestis, who happens to be white, and a number of fans weren't taking it too kindly. Is it bad that I have no interest in Dark Souls-style game like Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, Sekiro, or Noah, because I have no customization and you just have to play as a generic white guy? Fallen Order looks fun, but do I really need another white male Jedi? Missed the Jedi Fallen Order panel for Star Wars Rebels, so I just now saw the trailer. Looks neat. I'm excited for a true blue single-player game. Kind of disappointing that the player is a generic video game white guy, though. I mean, I have a serious question. I have a serious question. Do you think that these people actually think this way? Do you think they actually believe this garbage? Or do you think that they're just saying it for retweets? Maybe I'm just too Midwest. Maybe it's my, as they would call it, white privilege. I literally don't care about the skin color of who is in my video games. Do I draft an all-white team in Madden? No. Do I play only white players in like NBA 2K? No. I'm playing MLB The Show right now. Am I only starting white players? No. Am I only starting black players? No. I don't know. I don't even care. I care about their stats and their name on the jersey. I guess for sports, I know. Obviously, if there was like a black Aaron Rodgers, that would seem off. But I don't know. I'm just so far removed from caring about the skin color of my video game characters. Jedi Fallen Order trailer is enticing enough. I have trouble getting excited about playing a broody white dude. Sometimes I forget that when I voice these kinds of concerns, I do so to a group of friends that are mostly represented. The Fallen Order trailer looks like meh, but I hope to God that music is a placeholder. It's beyond generic and kills Star Wars atmosphere. Also, God, I hope the protagonist doesn't have to be a mandatory AAA game white dude in his mid-20s with a raspy voice. I don't understand. I just saw Jedi Fallen Order trailer. Bummer. I'm tired of seeing white guys being the main character. It's just everywhere. Plus, I hate EA. Still a no from you. Super boring. To me, the Fallen Order is yet another young white humanoid when the universe is so full of interesting species and such that we're also Jedi. Would it have killed them to make the main character a Twi'lek or something? Fallen Order looks great, but they could have saved Gianna for this and not wasted her on a BF2 instead of giving us some boring white twink. I don't I mean, it just goes on and on and on and on. The Inquisitor who is hunting Cal is actually the second sister who is introduced in Charles Soule's recent Darth Vader comic book series. Cal will not be the only Jedi in the game. As seen in the trailer, Jedi Knight named Cere will also be in the game, who appears to help Cal as he avoids the Empire Purge troopers and the second sister. I believe Cere is a woman as well, just saying. The game will feature multiplayer or will not feature multiplayer or microtransactions, as confirmed by Respawn Entertainment's Vince Zampella. It will be confirmed by Dice, also be confirmed by Dice's Ben Walke. Interesting. I don't understand. I mean, I guess I don't understand this narrative. And here we have PC Gamer, which is mostly a social justice website these days. Out of hundreds of cool alien species, this is the most interesting hero Respawn could come up with. Now, this is a little more interesting. I believe that this is just a, oh no, not another white guy argument wrapped in, it should have been an alien. Now, if you would have, I admit that playing as an alien Jedi might have been more interesting, but more difficult for people to identify with from a lore perspective. I'm talking about, obviously, normie Star Wars fans. Yes, deep lore Star Wars fans know about every Jedi that ever existed, but most Star Wars fans know about Luke Skywalker, you know, and like Darth Vader and Kylo Ren, and Rey, you know. So making it an alien probably would have been a poor design choice in general. So that's why I think that this person is just trying to wrap the same, oh no, not another white dude. And we'll find out here. We'll show that this dude will show his true colors in a moment. What I'm saying is, in one of the Star Wars novels I'm now slightly embarrassed to have read as a teenager, a genetically modified Ewok with prosthetic limbs worked as a shuttle pilot. What I'm saying is there's a rich, weird, silly, pretty awesome range of alien species out there for Star Wars creators to draw from, invented over decades of movies and books and comics and games, and yet this is the character Respawn has chosen to lead Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. Seriously? Where have I seen this guy before? Solo, that Star Wars movie nobody asked for, that spelled out backstory nobody needed to know. Fallen Order's protagonist, Cal Kestis, looks like a knockoff young Solo, even if he's based on actor Cameron Monaghan rather than Alden Ehrenreich. To quote executive editor Tyler Wilde, they chose someone with the personality of a hotel bathrobe. Now, where else have I seen a character's an awful lot like this? Oh, just in the majority of big budget video games made in the last 15 years or so. And there it is. There it is. The hood, the clean jaw, the broody face. I can't remember the last time I was instantly bored looking at a video game protagonist, and the rest of the Jedi Fallen Order reveal trailer doesn't do much to bolster its flat lead. It's all cutscenes, so we get no real sense of how the game will actually play. By the way, this is what Star Wars game fans and gamers in general actually care about. And the voiceover, trust no one, trust only the Force is a rote. See how disillusioned we are. Maybe a brilliant actor could have instilled this script with more desperation or conflict or a tinge of hope, but I watch this and feel, well, nothing. ZZZZ. What a wasted opportunity. Of course, I can't say yet if Cal Kestis will be narratively interesting character. We'll only know that in November when Fallen Order is out. But I can say that there were so many visually interesting options that Respawn, EA, and Lucasfilm didn't make here. It's a damn shame. This isn't a movie where hours of makeup, close-up shots, and uncomfortable costumes and expansive CG are all barriers to make central characters aliens. This is a video game where skills and imaginations of your artists are the only limitations. Surely, this wasn't as far as the imagination could stretch. Here's a short tour of the Star Wars many alien species that could have been more immediately interesting protagonists. Again, sure. The blandness of Fallen Order's protagonist really stings when you hear it would have been that Uncharted writer Amy Hennig's canceled Star Wars project Ragtag would have starred a group of playable characters, not just a single protagonist. Here's a piece of key art from the game that would never be via Kotaku. Yeah, because it was probably a crap game. I mean, it's even if the main character Dodger was roguish Han Solo knockoff, even if he was also a white guy with brown hair, I gotta say he has more personality in his mustache than Cal Kestis has in his whole dang face. I hope Fallen Order's lightsaber combat is great, but evokes a way of experiencing the galaxy that we haven't seen since Jedi Outcast and Jedi Academy. I wish the hero wasn't a Force Unleashed retread with the edgelord knob dialed back 75%. Now, I wouldn't say this entire article is like specifically about how it's not woke, but I get the feeling that it's like still a backhanded slight because the character's white. Would they have written this article if the character was black? No freaking way. Would they have wrote this article if it was a woman? No freaking way. The article also ignores the fact that you have another Jedi in the game that is a female. All right, so the idea that game developers with $100 million expectations for their games, right? This game probably has an expectation of 5-10 million copies, I'm guessing. When you have a company that reports to shareholders, stockholders, when you have a company that has desperate investors, you must deliver. And unfortunately, in the AAA space, that doesn't leave a ton of room for risk taking. Now, if you're going to tell me that you, an author for PC Gamer, can't understand why a video game, after the absolute failure of the last video game in the Star Wars series, is a little afraid to take some risks, you are being intellectually dishonest. And you didn't mention any of that in this article, right? You only talked about the physical attributes of a fake character in a fictional video game. You know nothing about his actual character. You have just a few screenshots. And look, if he's boring as a protagonist, he'll go down the line with most boring protagonists in games. I mean, Ubisoft themselves have just removed the voice from protagonists, thus avoiding the argument or avoiding the need to make them interesting. I played all the way through Far Cry with no real interaction. I was the protagonist. So if it was boring, it was because of me. The Division 2, the protagonist, nobody. I think this is a good thing in video games. I'm actually starting to enjoy that, although if it's done really well, like in Red Dead Redemption 2 with Arthur Morgan, I'm sure this author probably had an issue with Arthur Morgan as well because he was just another gruff white dude. This argument is so played out. I don't think that we have to worry about the skin color of our protagonist. I think their personality is significantly more important. I think if Cal is going to be boring, it's going to be because he's written boring, not because the color of his skin. Now, if you would have made him black, would that have affected sales? I highly doubt it. If you made him an alien, that probably might have. It might have pushed off some normies who aren't interested in it. But then again, who's to say? I'm just saying that the decision they made to make the protagonist the way they did is up to them. And this, to me, feels like a camouflaged another more white guys are ruining everything. And obviously you can cherry pick a lot of Twitter posts, but this attitude does exist out there. This narrative does exist. And what is more important than the skin color of the protagonist is how they write it and how the actual gameplay works. Because I'm going to be honest with you, a lot of times I endure a lot of really cringy cutscenes and a mediocre story if the gameplay is excellent. That's the thing that Respawn needs to keep in mind. That's the thing that they need to keep at their core of every decision they make. Is the game fun? That is the first rule of a successful video game, in my opinion. If it's not fun, you're not going to have a successful game, and the game's not going to have the legs that it needs to continue to sell for a very long time. The skin color of the protagonist is a distant, 50th on the list. If the sound design sucks, the game's not going to sell well. If the dialogue, the narrative isn't good, the game's not going to be good. All of these things, the graphics, if the graphics are crummy, if it's buggy, all of these things greatly outweigh the skin color of the actual protagonist. And Ubisoft has proved that by basically removing the protagonist as a thing you see in video games. So these people need to just relax a little bit and let the game be good and stop trying to cram their social justice BS into everything. I hope you enjoyed this video though, and we'll talk to you again real soon.